welcome to what is going to be a magnificent night here at the MCG. It's a balmy 19 degrees, a slight swirly wind, magnificent conditions as I welcome Dermott Brereton, Paul Roos, David King and the coach of the Melbourne Football Club, Simon Goodwin, who's good enough to join us before the game. Goody, welcome to the MCG for the first semi-final.
Yeah, thanks Ed, and it's great to be back. 91,000 here last week, they're expecting 91 again. It's pretty inspiring for our club.
Goody, every coach will turn around and say, oh, we still got to beat 22 of the best opposition that they can put up. You must have breathed a sigh of relief when O'Meara went out during the week.
Yeah, look, he's someone we certainly discussed at length. He's a quality player, there's no doubt about that. But I think the great Hawthorn sides have played a system, and you know that they're going to play a system tonight, and they're still going to be very hard to break down. We know that.
And Goody, talk about the system. Must have been really pleased the system stood up last week. I suppose going into your second final, is that really the message to the players? We've had one crack at it. It worked really, really well. Let's stick to that system tonight.
Yeah, look, we've been working really hard, Rosie, around a formula that creates success, and we feel like we've just lobbed on that, to a really fine line in the last sort of month or 5 weeks of footy. And we want to just continue to stick to that. We've got really clear roles about what's expected from our players and a formula that's ultimately having some success.
You must be proud of how tough this group is. I mean, we look at Clayton Oliver and we'll show some vision of just how seriously mean these guys are around the football, that they'd rather hurt the opponent than win the football at times. Just look at a couple of actions from last week. I mean, this is a 21-year-old kid who hasn't even played 60 games of football yet.
Yeah, look, our recruiting team have done a great job of identifying guys that really go hard at the ball, and it's been a 3-year process to get our boys trained up in this phase of the game, but we've recruited competitors, and that's how we've trained them up.
I guess the other thing last week was maybe a little bit different, Goody, and Kingy and I did the game. Maxie really got the ball outside. Yeah. That was obviously the plan going in, and it seemed to work really well.
Yeah, we probably found throughout the year, Rosie, that they were probably sharking Maxie a little bit on the inside, and just having a bit more variety outside and inside, and really generating some of that momentum for us is important.
Let's have a look at the opposition a little bit, Simon, if we could. Do you tag Mitchell first up? Will Harms go to him? You've got no Stratton to worry about, a centre-back who's been a real general. And I suppose with Segler going at it, that leaves them one tall short in the forward line with Big McAvoy having to go into the ruck.
Yeah, look, obviously Harmsy's played some roles and he's going to do a similar thing, but we certainly won't go away from our system. He'll stay on the inside, and that's where he plays his best footy, and not only shutting some guys out, but he's actually getting involved offensively. So we know that's going to be a really important area of the game for us, but we'll certainly stick to the way we play as well.
How do you deal with your inner emotions? I mean, you're in charge now of one of the oldest sporting clubs in the world that hasn't saluted for over 50 years, and there's pressure to get something done. What they've been doing in the last few years, Paul alongside you as well, they've been giving so much to try and get back to where they believe they should be. Is there pressure on you?
I wouldn't say pressure. I'd just say that what we have done is build a footy club that has been on a journey together. It started with Rosie and it's gone all the way through, and we've had some great people involved, and we know that if we continue to lay the foundations of the people, the players, the way we play, that'll ultimately take us to success. So is there pressure? There is pressure actually to see this journey through, but ultimately we've still got a very young group that have got a lot of footy in front of them.
What have you done? What have you changed that Rosie put in?
No, I think our list has changed significantly in the last couple of years, so I think I've got a bit more talent to work with.
The other thing I was going to say, have you noticed on the back of what Derm's saying, the pressure going into this week, a bit different? They know they've won. Obviously the fans come last week, were super excited after the game. So whilst there's a level of expectation, you've got that first one out the way. So the week has been maybe a little bit different this week?
Yeah, it's been a little bit different. I think the great thing about the players, they've got this look in the eye at the moment that they want more. And I think what we'll see in the first 30 or 40 minutes is if we can establish our brand of play again, that's what we're really looking for, how quickly we can get into that rhythm of the way we play.
Can I ask you about that man there, Jack Vine? He missed 8 weeks of football, comes back in last week, has his 20 disposals, lays 11 tackles, 9 in the first half. He set the tone for this group. How's he recovered, and what are your expectations tonight?
Expectations are the same. Come out and perform. That was the expectation last week, but I think you saw last week why we love him and why he's such a great leader. His strengths are his tackle and his pressure around stoppage areas, and he put that on display, so he'll certainly be going in there with that same ferocity again tonight.
Simon, you've been so kind all through the year in your generosity to come onto our show. One final question. You guys have been enjoying your football this year. Can you tell me, just for you, as a young bloke growing up, a great player at the Adelaide Crows, you did your apprenticeship, and now you're the coach, who could ultimately follow in the footsteps of Norm Smith. That's the last time that Melbourne got to a premiership glory in 1964, the great Norm Smith. Is it boys' own annual stuff for you at the moment, just personally?
I'm loving what I do. I get great fulfilment and satisfaction just coaching a group of players that are driven to where they want to go. So I really enjoy what I do. I wake up every morning and want to go to work and see these boys grow, and I get as much excitement as what they do, seeing what we're doing for our supporters.
Goody, go to work, mate.
Yes. Thanks, guys.
It's a grand old flag, and we wish you all the best of luck tonight.
Thanks, Ed. Thanks, Dan.
Good on you, mate. Simon Goodwin, the coach of the Melbourne Football Club. Big round of applause for your coach, everybody. Good on you, Simon.